Great. We're now coming to the heart of our meeting. It's with great pleasure I call upon Mary Lou Zieve, daughter of the late Leonard M. Simons, a wonderful and special person, to participate in the next part of our program. As Mary Lou comes forward, I want everyone to know that she has on at least 4 occasions performed on this very stage. So long ago, it wasn't even called the Gem Theater. Yes, it was earlier in her life. Yes, it was earlier in her life in such roles as Cinderella, Heidi, Princess and a Fairy Tale, and the Little Witch. She is...
I'll talk to you later.
I know you will, and I'll talk to you now. She is most active and supportive of our society's mission and goals, and for which we're most appreciative, and I have fond memories of her father, which I won't go into now. I'd like to now also ask our special honored guest to come forward. Carl. And while I talk about Carl for a few minutes, and both of you can sit down. I'm just going to take a minute. I've taken 30 pages of bio on Carl, and I've reduced it to 1. So if I edit it wrong, somebody will scold me. No one is exactly sure when Carl Levin first became involved with our society, but there is photographic evidence to suggest it was in October 1977 when the then young president of Detroit's City Council stood at the corner of East Congress and St. Antoine to help dedicate an historic marker depicting the location of Michigan's first Jewish religious services. 2 years later, U.S. Senator Carl Levin, Michigan's first Jewish U.S. Senator, stood at the podium addressing the 20th anniversary meeting of this society. It is with great pleasure tonight that we honor this man who, like the award's namesake, has demonstrated a true passion for preserving, sharing, and celebrating Michigan's Jewish history. Although he needs no introduction, here are a few notable milestones in Senator Levin's long career. When he retired from the Senate in January of this year, he retired as Michigan's longest-serving U.S. Senator, serving for 36 years. Quite an accomplishment. During his illustrious career, he had many achievements. He fought against Pentagon overspending, a serious problem, I think. Was a staunch supporter of the United States auto industry, and therefore our town, and its collaboration with the military vehicle industry. Was a leading and continues a leading protector of the Great Lakes, and led in the creation of a national park and a national marine sanctuary in Michigan. In the past few months, Senator Levin has joined a major law firm as senior counsel and now on the faculty of Wayne State University Law School, where together with Eugene Dreiker has established the Levin Center. Through academic programming, scholarship, and training, the center will focus on the understanding of how effective legislative oversight can lead to significant and meaningful changes in public policy and institutional behavior. He also has made notable contributions to preservation of Michigan's Jewish history, including the rescue of stained glass windows from the former congregation Mogen Abraham. A lovely preface in the children's activity book, some of you may have seen it, Early Jewish Days in Michigan. Frequent appearances at our society events, including keynote speaker in 1998 at the annual meeting when Judy Cantor received the Leonard M. Simons History Award. And a little shout out to Judy. She'll kill me if she can hear me say this. Judy has gotten many of us involved in this society and is really notable for that. And I thank her, and I think all of us that have become involved thank her for her push. And finally, he's a fan and a regular greeter at our fantastic J-Cycle events. Carl is devoted to our mission, a passion for preserving and reflecting on our Jewish communal history. For all of these reasons and more, it is our pleasure to present the 2015 Leonard M. Simons Award to Carl Levin, after Mary Lou Zieve adds an important connection to her father. right? Did I do that right?
Well, one of my father's favorite words, which he used a lot, was the word mensch. I looked it up just out of curiosity to see what it would produce in an encyclopedia, and it says, a person of integrity and honor. In a dictionary that I looked up, it says, someone to admire and emulate, someone of noble character. I have to say, my father had enormous pride in what Carl did through the years. He was very, not only proud, but almost as if you were part of his family, that he could point to and say, that's a mensch. That's a man who cares, who gives of himself, who is dedicated, whose integrity is never questioned. This is a man I have enormous admiration for, as my father did. I feel very honored that I can be part of a presentation to a wonderful human being, Carl Levin. Thank you. Mensch and a half. A mensch a dick.
Later.
Right now.
All right. I gotta get it. Here, come on out here. Well, Sandy and I will have a lot to say later, so I'm not sure how much I should say right now, but let me just say a few things. First, thank you to the Historical Society for this wonderful recognition in the name of your dad, Mary Lou. It's a special meaning to me. Thank you, Mickey, for your very kind words. It's great to be here tonight with all of you. Many of you go way, way back. I've been too long a politician and smart a politician to try to identify anyone in the audience, but I'm also too smart a husband and a father not to identify my wife and my daughter. So I'm going to introduce my wife in an unusual way. Her dad gained some notoriety in one of my political campaigns. Her dad was came from Europe. He was an amazing man with a great sense of humor. His name was Ben Halpern. He told me first off, running as a Jewish candidate for the U.S. Senate and wondering whether the state was going to elect a statewide Jewish official, he said, just start all your meetings with this comment. You're always running late, Carl. You're always running late. So when you get there late, out of breath, just simply say that I want to tell you that I was hoping you all be on Jewish time here tonight. Now, most of our audiences were not Jewish, but they sort of laughed a little nervously. And then I said, for those of you who might not know what Jewish time is, the last time I was in Jerusalem, I called up the time service to set my watch since it had changed, and the voice at the other end said that at the tone the time will be 8 o'clock, 8:30 at the latest. That took care of the Jewish question. Almost every ethnic group and racial group has their own time, and they're just as late as we are. But my father-in-law also, in one of my campaigns, received a phone call from someone who was raising money. And
the voice at the other end was some young guy who was raving about me and my campaign, and Carl's the greatest thing since, what is it, 7-Up? They still drink 7-Up, whatever. Could you send $5 to the Levin campaign? And so my father-in-law, he didn't know he was talking to my father-in-law. My father-in-law decided to play a little joke on this guy. So he said, I wouldn't give that bum 5 cents. He got my daughter pregnant 3 times. That joke's still working, folks. It was good for 5 campaigns. It's still working. Now, his daughter, who I got pregnant 3 times, is my wife of 53 years, Barbara. Barbara? The first of those daughters is going to be up here on the stage a little bit later with Andy. And by the way, thank you, Andy, for not helping me up the steps. I would have killed him if he had tried. The first of our daughters who will be up here is Kate, who, by the way, was recently appointed as president of the McGregor Fund, which is a real feather in her cap. But Kate was a birthday gift to me. She was born on my birthday, so you can't get a better birthday gift than that, I guess, except twins. But anyway, thank you to the Historical Society. This is of great meaning and significance to me, and I now look forward to having my lifelong buddy who you could never have a sibling like I had, particularly an older sibling who took a younger brother under his wing. I remind people he's 3 years older. He had greater staying power in the Congress than I did, by the way. I jumped ship there a few months ago. He still works there as the ranking Democrat on the Ways and Means Committee, but for me, he's my lifelong mentor and best buddy. So I'm going to now stop here, and you'll be hearing from both of us with our 2 kids, as we still call them. So thank you again to everybody in the society.
I now call on 3 members of the Levin family to come forward. Barb, you weren't on the list to come up. I presume you didn't want to, or that you've had enough of your husband for the today. How is it with him home now full time? Sander Levin was first elected U.S. Congressman in 1982, and he continues to serve as the 9th Congressional District Representative. He, as you've heard, is the older brother by 3 years of Carl, and I'm not going to say anything more because we're going to hear from him in just a minute. Andy Levin is Sanders' son, and until a few moments ago was a society board member. He's now rotated to the advisory board member. He doesn't know that for sure, but it's official. You will continue to serve, I hope, as an advisory board member. He's a busy man. He's the founder of Levin Energy Partners. Like his father and uncle, Andy Levin is a Harvard-trained lawyer. He also earned a BA in religion from Williams College and an MA in Asian language and cultures at U of M. Andy has spent a career fighting for working people, human rights, and environmental sustainability, much like the Levin family. He's the next president of a Reconstructionist synagogue in Oak Park. Kate Levin Markle, who you just heard about as being born on a special birthday of another guest here, and I guess therefore a favorite daughter. Equal. I wanted to repeat this. It was in my notes, but being president of the McGregor Fund in Detroit is an unbelievable honor and an achievement. It's an amazing fund, and I think that Kate will not only do it well, but we will be blessed by the community having 11 in that kind of a position. I also want to tell everybody that she felt it important enough to miss the opening of the Mackinac Conference And whether she goes there tomorrow or not, we're glad she's here tonight. So would Sander, Andy, and Kate come forward? As they come up, I think I will tell you, you'll soon be aware of this family's deep interest and efforts concerning Jewish life in our state, and in particular in Detroit. So I'm going to turn this part of the meeting over to Andy